Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and yes, we're back with another episode in the series, but there's a twist here. Now, in the last video, why we can't have power armor featuring Fallout 4, I asked you guys to vote on what you wanted to see in the next episode, and unanimously you guys all voted for why we can't have teleporters. So that's still to come. So in a way, you didn't ask for this. But with the release of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, I thought it'd be good to take a quick look at the world of human augmentation. So here it is, why we can't have Adam Jensen. The world of Deus Ex divides humanity between the au natural, as they were born humans, and those who have opted to swap out the limbs that their mother gave them with a commercial prosthesis. In this universe, pretty much everything can be swapped out for augmentations that are marketed as being able to make you superior. If you want strong arms, forget the gym and simply head down to the shops and get yourself a pair that'll have you lifting fridges with no effort at all. Can't get to work on time? Just swap your legs out for a pair that'll let you run like the wind. And what if you're forever alone and have difficulty talking to people? Not a problem, get yourself a social enhancement chip and you'll be the life of the next party. But as Deus Ex is keen to point out, not everyone is a fan of augmented people, or orgs for short. In Human Revolution we saw the height of augmentation, the golden era of the best that human augmentation could provide. But in that heavenly peak, we saw the darkest of humanity as well. The difficulty in policing augmentations meant some people opted for augmentations that would allow them to more easily commit crimes or even acts of terrorism. And even the law-abiding citizens who installed expensive augmentations were driven into poverty, simply trying to afford to maintain them. In Mankind Divided, we see how far humanity has fallen. The general population that has rejected augmentation and treating those with augments installed with suspicion and fear has now triumphed over reason. Augmented people are now treated as second-class citizens, and those who have committed crimes or simply don't have the paperwork to certify their augmentations are sent to cities like Prague, where they are isolated from the world. Enter Adam Jensen. After a deadly battle with an augmented Black Ops team, known as the Tyrants, Jensen was fatally wounded. He suffered extensive injuries, including being shot in the head with a .357 Magnum. His employer, David Seraph, then took it upon himself to exploit the terms of Jensen's employment contract to perform incredibly extensive augmentations on Jensen's body. He received some of the most advanced augmentations that Seraph Industries could provide. However, due to the injuries he had sustained, many of the augmentations would be left inactive, only to be activated when the time was right. Jensen himself makes use of what is known as mechanical augmentation. It is the predecessor to modern physio-pharmaceutical and advanced nanotechnological augmentations. The nature of mechanical augmentations are that they are similar in most respects to external prosthetics, except that they are fully incorporated into the body's nervous system for more direct control. The end result is an augmentation that can grant the user near superhuman abilities, but it all comes at a cost. Mechanical augmentations result in near constant mental and physical pain for the user, as well as risk of rejection. The human body's natural immune system works to prevent harmful objects from damaging the body. For anyone that's ever had a splinter before, you'll know that the small pieces that you can't remove on your own will eventually disappear. You see, the body tries to do one of two things. It will attempt to push the foreign object out of the body, or it will attempt to break it down and remove it. And this can also happen for implants, organs, or anything else that the body deems as unnatural to itself. Most implants nowadays are made of specially medically safe alloys or special polymers that are developed specifically to not trigger a rejection response from the body. But in Deus Ex, mechanical augmentations that triggered rejection were not only common, they were accepted as the norm until newer forms of augmentation were discovered. This is where the drug Neuropozyne comes in. This is a synthetic drug that is developed to counter the effects of rejection, and as is typical of Big Pharma, the drug is strictly controlled and monitored, making it difficult for those without prescriptions from the companies to obtain it, and allowing it to also reach astronomical prices on the black market. For this reason, many poorer augmented people look for unproven alternatives or simply suffer the effects of augment rejection. But what about Adam Jensen? Well, he's a special snowflake. As an infant, Adam Jensen was subjected to an experimental process administered by a subsidiary company under VersaLife. This process unknowingly granted him a permanently altered biochemistry that allowed him to not only never require Neuropozyne, but also his body would never reject the PEDOT, electrodes, or neural stimulation implants. If anything, the bond between his natural tissues and the electrodes would even strengthen over time. Due to the alterations, Jensen would unknowingly carry the secret to universal augmentation in his DNA. But because of the unique way his body's biochemistry is set up, in a nutshell, Jensen is the only human capable of undergoing the augmentations he has without ever having an issue. And since the company that performed the therapy was destroyed and Adam was the only successful test subject, he would remain to be the only human that was capable of this. And that's where we arrive at the answer to this burning question: why we can't have Adam Jensen, or indeed any other extensively augmented human. The main problem is that any person living right now might be able to have significant implants in their body as part of medical treatments, but we simply do not yet have the technology to perform extensive augmentations in this manner, not to mention the socio-political and ethical implications of such technology ever being implemented. But the problem with rejection will still remain, and since in the Deus Ex universe Adam Jensen is indeed the only human with a unique biochemistry that does not reject augmentation, we won't be able to have something like this in the real world without the unique set of circumstances that led to him being the way he is in the first place. And yes, it's true that augmentations do already exist in the real world. There are technologies that exist that can enhance human capabilities, but at this stage we've only really begun to scrape the surface of what's truly possible. And like some sort of chosen one, we need our own Adam Jensen to come into this world so we can have augmented humans running around just like Adam Jensen. But I'm sure he wouldn't ask for that. But don't take my word for it. All I'm saying is when it comes to human augmentation, Adam Jensen is our cyberpunk augmented Jesus. But let me know what you guys think. Is augmentation really possible? Is it something you'd actually like to see happen in the real world? And if you could have any augmentation of your choice, what would it be? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. My name is Panzer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.